What if the secret to building wealth wasn't some ridiculously complex formula, but a simple truth that's been hiding in plain sight all along? That's the powerful idea at the very heart of John Bogle's classic book, Common Sense on Mutual Funds. Now, Bogle wasn't just some author. He was a total crusader for the average investor, and today we're going to unpack his game-changing wisdom.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. When a guy like Warren Buffett, arguably the greatest investor of all time, calls a book a must-read, you kind of have to pay attention, right? That's basically a giant neon sign telling us there's something really, really important in these pages.
Okay, so what is this common sense we're talking about? That's the big question here, isn't it? Bogle's idea was totally radical because he said that success in investing isn't about having some secret knowledge or a complex strategy. Nope, it's about something much more basic. And we're about to break down exactly what that is.
All right, but before we get to Bogle's brilliant solution, we've got to understand the problem he was trying to solve. He called it the investor's dilemma. And believe me, it's a trap that millions of well-meaning people fall into every single day.
I mean, this pretty much sums it up, right? The world of finance can feel like this dense, confusing jungle. You're getting hit from every direction with thousands of different funds, conflicting advice from experts, and strategies that are just way too complicated. It almost feels like it's designed to make you feel lost.
So how are you supposed to navigate this jungle? Well, most investors are handed a map that leads them right into a dead end. Bogle had a name for it, the loser's game, and it's time we understood why he called it that.
The main road on this flawed map is the actively managed fund. And the sales pitch is fantastic, isn't it? You pay some financial genius, a real whiz kid, to pick all the winning stocks for you. It sounds like the perfect answer. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, here's the catch. You're promised a rocket ship to financial success, but what you usually get is a boat with a bunch of heavy anchors tied to it. Bogle proved with mountains of data that once you factor in all the high costs and fees, most of these so-called rocket ships never even get off the launch pad, let alone beat the market.
So what are these anchors? Bogle called them the performance killers. A great way to picture it is to think of your investment as a bucket. These killers are like little leaks. You've got high management fees constantly dripping out, excessive trading costs spilling over the side, and taxes creating another drain. And on top of all that, we often make it worse ourselves by chasing whatever fund was hot last year. Each one of these things relentlessly drains your hard-earned money.
Sounds pretty bleak, doesn't it? But hold on, because this is where the story gets really good. See, Bogle didn't just point out the problem, he went out and built a whole new path. He started a common sense revolution. And here's the man himself, John Bogle. He looked at an entire industry that was profiting from the confusion of everyday people, and he just decided, you know what, this is fundamentally wrong. He wasn't just building a company, he was on a genuine mission to make investing fairer for all of us. His revolution really had two key parts. First, he created Vanguard, a totally new kind of investment company. The structure is brilliant. It's owned by its own funds, which means it's owned by you, the investor. Its only job is to lower your costs, not to make Wall Street partners rich. And second, he launched the tool that would change everything, the index fund.
This explains it perfectly. The old way of investing was like paying a fortune to have someone search for one specific needle in a giant haystack. Bogle's idea was just so simple it was genius. Forget trying to find the needle, just buy the whole haystack. An index fund owns a tiny piece of every company in a market index, like the S&P 500. You are guaranteed to capture the market's return, because you literally own the market. And the best part is you can do it for next to nothing.
And so here it is, the winning formula that Bogle shared with the world. It is so simple, it's actually radical. First, buy the whole haystack, a broadly diversified market index. Second, hold on to it, basically forever. Just ignore the daily panic, the scary headlines, all that noise. And third, and this is absolutely crucial, keep your costs as low as humanly possible. Because every single dollar you save on fees is another dollar that's working for you, compounding day after day, year after year.
Okay, so what does this all mean for you? Let's take this powerful philosophy and turn it into a simple, actionable playbook that you can actually use.
This is your game plan. Number 1, simplicity always wins over complexity. We've already seen that the complex stuff is a loser's game. Number 2, become obsessed with minimizing costs. Seriously, remember those performance killers? You want to stamp them out. Number 3, own the whole haystack. Diversify broadly. And finally, and this one can be the hardest, honestly, stay the course. Just tune out all the noise and let your plan do its thing. It all boils down to this powerful paradox, which the financial columnist Jane Bryant Quinn captured perfectly. She said that simple and low cost are the most sophisticated approach to investing you'll ever find. In a world that is constantly trying to sell you something complicated and expensive, that is the ultimate secret.
And so we're left with this final question to think about. The entire financial world is built on this frantic hunt for the next clever move, the next hot stock. But what if Bogle was right all along? What if the real secret to winning is to simply stop trying to be so clever?